在中国生活的外企高管有很多，不过把全家搬过来的可就不多了。埃森哲公司亚太地区可持续性业务董事总经理彭来便是其中之一。去年这位曾经在牛津、剑桥和欧洲工商管理学院接受教育的商界精英，就把家搬到了上海。作为长期关注可持续发展的经济学者，他对中国经济又会有一番怎样的见解呢？最近，财经记者与彭来进行了一次对话。
Okay, how do you think about the challenge of Chinese consumer economy?
I think that when you look at the China consumer story, perhaps the untold element of that, or perhaps the often misunderstood issue of China and the consumer, is that while there's been a lot of debate recently about China moving back to growth using more capital-intensive investment-led infrastructure projects and so on. Actually, the China consumer story over the last 10 years has been remarkably consistent and remarkably strong. It's one of the fastest growing and largest consumer markets in the world. And we see that reflected both for state-owned enterprises but also for multinationals doing business in China. So that's the first point, is that actually it's still a very powerful story, and domestic consumption, although it could grow, is actually doing pretty well. Now, on the other hand, what that means is that with the volume and the rising aspirations of the Chinese middle class, rightly so, these are people who have risen out of much lower income levels and are enjoying the first tastes of wealth. And hey, they have aspirations, they have wants, they have needs, desires for products and services, for brands. But the negative side of that is it's having an impact on the environment in particular. Actually, much of this consumption is mimicking Western patterns of consumption. And those Western patterns of consumption are energy intensive, water intensive, waste and materials intensive. And so the real challenge for China at this point in time is to start to think about how to develop its own pattern of consumption, its own sustainable pattern of consumption. And I think for me, the most exciting thing that can emerge in the next 5 years is a shift from copying a Western dream, an American dream, conspicuous consumption, to a truly authentic China dream that is sustainable.
So what do you think is the most urgent reform that Chinese need to do right now for the government?
I think that what business is looking for from doing business in China is really more of the same in terms of a stable business climate, a climate that allows both state-owned enterprises and multinationals to be successful in a China business context. I think one of the things that China is beginning to address, and the Chinese government is supportive, I think, with state-owned enterprise, and we've seen that, is this issue of going global. Actually what we're starting to see is that Chinese enterprises, and not just perhaps in the resources and extractives industry that we've seen in the past, but also China's top companies are beginning to go global, and they're starting to move up the value chain and explore whether they can actually become global brands. Very few are global brands yet, but that's coming, and I think that's something to be welcomed. I think that is something that clearly requires a joined-up approach between business and government, and it's clearly something that I think the Chinese leadership have understood and are pushing.
在之前的采访当中，彭来曾经提到，中国是全世界增长最快的国家之一，它有机会在城市扩张的相对早期阶段，实现不必依赖过度消耗自然资源的和谐增长的转型。曾鑫，你看他也在强调，这个中国其实这个消费率并不低，你怎么看呢？
那么我们看中国的消费率，或者是中国的消费在 GDP 的贡献当中呢，实际上确实是有可能是被低估的。但是在强调中国消费率被低估的这个观点当中呢，又分两种情况。那么有一种实际上是在为这种投资驱动的经济增长来做辩护，那块确实是不可取的。但是我们看彭来，他显然不是，他是在强调所谓的这种可持续的这种 增长、可持续的这种消费模式。那我们看，确实是在我印象当中，在全球来看，可能最成功的一个例子就是超市的这个塑料袋收费。那么我想，很多人不去再买塑料袋了，肯定不是为了省那几毛钱或者是几个美分，而是真正的它唤起了它一个这种可持续发展、这种环保的这种意识。那么像这种4两拨千斤的措施，其实是需要大家将来更多的去开动脑筋去寻找到的。